This candlestick pattern or formation is going to really improve your trading, and it's going to help you make lots of money. Now, if you're a trader and you're using the normal candlestick chart and you don't know about this candle, then something is really, really wrong, because this candlestick pattern is one of the most important candlestick formations that you need on the candlestick charts, right? And what's this candlestick pattern? It's called the engulfing candle. Now, what's the engulfing candle? Let me show you. This is it. As the name implies, it's a candle that engulfs the previous candle. Sometimes it can engulf not just only the previous candle before it can engulf 1, 2, or 3 candles. Now, the more candle it engulfs, the stronger that particular candle is, and the stronger the signal, right? So now let's say you're looking at a scenario where you're looking for sales, right? Now, if you're looking for an engulfing candle on a sell, let's say the candle before the candle that engulfs, right, which is this candle, let's say it was green, or it was even like an indecision candle, or right, or a red candle or something, right? Then what happens next? The next candle, which is the red candle, in a scenario where you're looking for sales, right, engulfs the previous candle. I hope I'm explaining this well for you guys. Just try to get the basic, right? Try to understand it. Now, this candle engulfs the previous candle. It covers it completely. That means it goes above it, right? You can see that this candle top here, the wick, is bigger or higher than this previous one, and the lower part of the candle is also way lower than this previous one, right? And another thing again is that the body, when it comes to an engulfing candle, if you want to get a strong signal in the particular direction you want to go in, whether it's a sell or a buy, that body should also close below or above the previous body, right? So in the case of where you're looking for sells, the body should close below the previous candle's body, right? That will give you a stronger signal, right? So this is what you call an engulfing candle when looking for a sell scenario. And in a buy scenario, it's just the opposite, right? So you're looking for a candle that would engulf the previous candle, cover both, the lower part of the candle and the upper part of the candle, and cross it significantly, or maybe not so significantly, just cross it, goes above it, and the body, like I said, should be at least above or just a little above the previous candle, right? Now, like I said, like I always say, when you go on the live charts, things will not be as perfect as this is, right? Sometimes you could see a body that could be sometimes you could see a body that could be this way. So long as it engulfs it and it wicks it above, right, it's still valid. It's still valid, right? And sometimes you don't need something that is so wide, depending on the way you trade, right? Because if it's too large on a higher time frame, especially, it means that that move uh, might not be a long lasting move, right? So if you try to get on that trade, your stop loss is going to be wide. So if you get what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to make you understand this better. Now let's get on the live charts. Now before we get on the chart, now you need to understand that there are different scenarios you can use this engulfing candles, right? You can use this engulfing candle in a reversal pattern. You can use it while you're also looking for a continuation pattern, right? Let's say you have a support level or a resistance level where you expect price to get to. Now when price gets to that level and then touches that level, you now wait for certain rejections. Now, as you're waiting for those rejections, when you now see an engulfing candle, an engulfing pattern, right? That's an indication for you to now go in on that trade. But how do you now get on this trade? Now, there are two ways you can get on this trade. You can either wait for price. What's the drawing tool? You can either wait for price to go back down and touch the previous candle's resistance level and then drop if you're looking for the case of a sell, right? But in the case of a buy, it's going to be the opposite. You could wait for price to come back down to the support of the previous candle, right? And then you can now enter your trade from there and hold and buy, and it goes up, right? So now let's go on the live charts and let's see if we can find something for you guys. Now looking at this, we have this here, right? In fact, I think there are multiple candles that we're seeing, but I would have loved to pick the one that retested off a particular key support level area, right? We see one. This is something I used the other time. So now let's say this is a heads and shoulders pattern that has been able to form here, right? What do you see? As price broke through the neckline, price went back up and touched that neckline, and what happened? It rejected. Now as it rejected, what do we see? We saw a good perfect engulfed candle. Zoom in so you see it well. This is an engulfing candle. Now as we see this, what happened? You could quickly just take yourselves from here, seeing that this is not a wide range. This is quite a small range, which is good. So it reduces your stop loss level, your risk level, right? So you could quickly just either enter from this level as price closed, or you could just wait for price, like we said, to retest back down to a key support or resistance level in this case. And then when price reverses, then you can now get in on your trade. Sometimes you can choose to wait for 50% level and then price will reverse right there. So what did price do? Price reversed, price went up and then dropped. So let's bring this drawing out. So like we said, you could either sell from there and then your stops will be somewhere here, right? And then you sell down, or you could just wait for price to come down to this level, this resistant level. As you can see, this level here happens to be a resistant level, or this other level somewhere around there. And this level is quite close to the 50% level, right? So when you wait, the price gets there, you enter in your sell, your stop loss is still there, you see your risk has been reduced, and then you have a higher or a larger risk to reward ratio, right? So this is a very good trade. Let's see if we see another one. Okay, we see one here. We see another one here. Can you see this? Now, price came down, created support around this level. Let's draw this. Created support around this level, right? Now, as price created that support, what did price do? Price even created a heads and shoulders pattern of some sort, right? We can see heads and shoulders pattern forming here, right? You can see all that. Then price came wicked again and then created this large engulfing candle, right? Created a large engulfing candle. You can see multiple engulfing candle here. This one here is an engulfing candle. And as you can see, as price created this engulfing candle here, what do we see next? Price came back down a little, and then what happened? Price pushed up. Uh, no need to put that. Then you see another one here. This other green candle here is an engulfing candle. It engulfed this previous candle, right? And engulfed like about 3 candles, right? And what happened next? Price came back down into that area, but can you see the price data came down and wicked it? So if you marked this area as a heads and shoulders pattern, you can see a very small heads and shoulders pattern that created itself here. Very small. I don't want to use that, right? So but the whole point is, if you trade support and resistance, this place created like a support. This is a 1 hour time frame, right? You could buy from all of this engulfing candles. Right now you see this massive engulfing candle over here. You can even see a sell engulfing candle over here. Now as I say, you need to know where to use it. You can be selling here if you see the price is bullish, overall bullish. So this was just a retracement, right? So by selling in this engulfing candle was a losing trade, right? What happened? If you had sold this engulfing candle, you'd have lost the trade. So since price now came to a support level, and this is an overall bullish market, you should be looking for buys. You can see selling engulfing candles over here too as well, right? This one sold small, yes, but this other one failed. Now, this massive bullish engulfing candle, what happened? Price came back down into the support level, and what happens next? Price begins to push up. Now, let's see a much more better heads and shoulders that we can draw so you can mark that out. So imagine this is the left shoulder, this is the head, this is the head rather, and then this is the right shoulder. Now price breaks it, right? Good. So let's draw the neckline. Let's say this is the neckline, and let's say this is it. So what the price do? Price came down, tested this neckline level and pushed up. Can you see it created some sort of like a bullish engulfing candle, but it was not a perfect one. It didn't completely cross this, so this is quite invalid. But sometimes you might want to also take a trade here and probably risk it, right? But all this other one gave us good entries over here. Now if you didn't wait for that, you could also draw something of this nature. Here you can see this. Now, do you see that this was also not a very perfect bullish engulfing candle? It didn't cross above this one, so it's invalid. But like I said, if you know what you're doing, you know what trades to get to hop on, right? But you get the idea of an engulfing candle. Alright, so guys, that's that for now. So guys, so you understand it. So when looking for an engulfing candle, you need to you need to know what levels are at one point you should be looking for those candles, either at the support level or at a resistance level. And once that candle forms and prints itself, then that's an indication that you can now go in on that trade. How you choose to go in on the trade is up to you, whether you enter immediately after the close of that candle or you wait for price to pull back into either a resistance level or a support level, and then you get in on the trade. So that's it for the engulfing candles. This candle formation or pattern is going to help improve your trading.